All right, we're here at the beautiful Pirates Cove Marina, Manteo, North Carolina, sitting at a dock, wishing we were fishing, but gives us a chance to film some of these videos. What electronics are essential for offshore fishing? I'd probably have to say number one on the list is a VHF radio. A lot of times you're out of cell phone range and you really need that VHF radio to be able to communicate in an emergency or talk to other mariners about hazards and stuff like that. So I'd say number one on the list is probably a VHF radio. And I'd say just as important, right up there at the top of the list, is a GPS. Got to know where you are in the world. I mean, you can navigate with charts, paper charts, and compass, but in today's day and age, you know, a lot of people don't know how to do that. And it's just one of them things that everybody's grown accustomed to a good GPS. So that's right up there, 1 and 2, you know, GPS and a VHF radio. And now we're going to talk about the extras that's really helpful. You don't necessarily need, but it's good to have. The third being radar, and it is a safety factor. A lot of beautiful calm days, you don't need radar, but there are some days where it gets pretty foggy. And especially at nighttime, if you're gonna run around at night, you gotta have radar. And I can't tell you how much I use my radar. It's, we leave every morning before it gets light, so, you know, visibility is low. And a lot of guys don't have lights on their boats like they're supposed to, or might have an electrical issue and, you know, one of their running lights be out or something like that. It only takes one time for a catastrophic accident to happen. But I can't tell you also how many times it's been foggy in the winter when we've been bluefin fishing. And without that radar, you wouldn't be able to see how to run. You can't even hardly see the bow stem. So a lot of days, a couple more instances where a radar would come in handy is weather. Been a few times too where some thunderstorms have developed in between us while we're out there fishing and the shore, and on that radar you can see which way they're moving, how fast they're moving, and you know where the strongest part of the storm is. And I recall one day this spring where there was kind of like two little cells and they were almost touching but not quite, and I saw a little gap in between the two, and we shot right on in between there. And without that radar, it was hard to see with your, you know, bare eyes looking at the sky that little void was in there. So anyway, lots of useful ways for that radar to help you out. And it's a big safety factor too. Now, as far as 4, it's probably going to be your bottom sounder slash fish finder. And, you know, that way you can know what depth you're in and, you know, see what's swimming underneath the boat. There's 1,000 different transducers out there and different combinations for electronics. We're not going to get into all that, but anyway, that's probably my 4th most valuable tool. And 5th is going to be my side scan. I love my side scan, and I think the version we have is called side view. But anyway, it sees off to the side of the boat, and I can't tell you how many instances too that I've marked fish off the side of the boat and made a turn and caught them with my long riggers, just because, you know, I didn't drive the boat directly over top of them, but I drug the baits over top of them, the longest baits. And we've gotten a lot of bites like that. And even if they're out of reach, I can't get a bait over top of them, I can loop back. And you just cover so much more of a footprint while you're trolling around. There's all kinds of different technologies that are coming out for that too. You know, it's just one of them things, how big is your wallet? The side scan or the side view that we have is fairly inexpensive, and most of your chart plotters come ready for that technology. It's just an extra transducer or 2, depending on what kind of boat you have, that you have to install either under your boat or on the back of the boat. You know, and most of your GPS fish finder combos are compatible, you know, for those transducers. Number 6 is probably a newer thing that they've got out as far as finding fish. It's called Omni Sonar. It's 360 degrees underneath the water. It's actually a transducer that drops down on a hydraulic ram once you start to fish. You can see live images. It kind of looks like a radar screen, like a blob on a radar. You can even, you know, make out billfish on it. Of course, there's different price points to get into those electrical components, but there's different brands, different price points, all kinds of different setups that you can have for it, but that seems to be the newest technology, you know, out, and it's really a game changer in the offshore sport fishing world. It's you can see a school of tunas, you know, 1,500 feet away and drive right to them and drive right over them. So it's definitely a helpful tool, and that is probably, you know, next on my wish list. I see guys using them all the time, and it really seems to increase their catch, you know. So hopefully one day in the future we'll have one of those rigs and be able to share that, you know, that use of that tool with our customers. So they're just, you know, very, very, very pricey. So I mean, and there's a whole list of other things like forward-looking infrared, you know, sort of like night vision, and all kinds of stuff. But in my opinion, those things are great, but if you got that radar, know how to use it, you can see just as much on that too. But here on the Speechless, we have a really good light kit at nighttime, and that's probably very essential too if you're going to be running around at nighttime. Is me personally, I have a light bar and a remote control spotlight, so when there's not any boats in front of me that I'm worried about, you know, inhibiting their ability to see, I'll use my light bar. But you know, if there's a boat close or coming at me or in front of me, I'll use my spotlight, and that's more, you know, of a dense pattern. It doesn't spread out as much, and you can control it a lot better. Even if you turn it off to the side, you can still, you know, see objects, buoys and stuff like that coming in front of you, just from the ambient light coming off of the spotlight. So that's what I use in conjunction. I use both of them just about every morning. And sometimes when I get out to the bar, I'll turn them both on just to light everything up as best I can, so I can see those waves that are breaking and try to get my gap coming through there. So anyway, that's my opinion on the must-have electronics to go offshore fishing. We'd love to have you guys go with us and see how all these things work. We'll be glad to show you. Right here, Slip 92, Pirates Cove Marina. You can book your charter, SpeechlessSportfishing.com. And don't forget, you can go right to our website too, get your hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts. We'd love to have you go fishing with us.